Hello there my fellow Holotable heroes and welcome back to the planet of Takodana. Now I have a fun fact for you today about the origin of the name. Takodana, as you probably know, was introduced into the Star Wars lore for the Force Awakens film by the director J.J. Abrams, who named the planet after Takodana Baba, a neighborhood in Tokyo. Abrams stayed in a hostel in Takodana the first time he visited Tokyo and named the planet as a nod to his favorite city. So as always, I'll cover first here in this challenge the modifiers, the feats, show you the teams and their mods that I use to get max rewards. We do have to face a squad of Ewoks and use our Jawas to try and get the best rewards that we can. So I've got two battles for you today. The first one will be my full Jawa squad, and then the second one Darth Revan for the Crush Them feat, where you have to defeat 3 enemies in the same turn. That's pretty much my go-to team for the Crush Them feat, because they have lots of control on there and you can quite nicely line up the hits that in the end you can do a big AoE with your Bastila. But now, if you're not interested, as always, YouTube chapters below, you can just skip through to the battles. Otherwise, let's just dig into it. So let's start off by going through the modifiers. The global modifier for Takodana, in case you need a reminder, Safe Haven. What we'll do is whoever deals damage first gets permanent death mark applied on them until defeated, and then whoever deals damage next gets again death mark applied on them. So just something to bear in mind when you're doing these battles. Then the Jawa modifier is really fun and good actually. Shoot to Gava, so Jawa allies will gain extra protection, and then whenever a thermal detonator deals damage, they'll be recovering protection as well as gaining speed. So it's definitely a very fun modifier to play around. Then moving on onto the next modifier for the enemy, booby traps for Ewoks. It does a little bit of a few things, but mostly you will notice Ewoks will now have 50% counter chance, but most importantly plus 20% speed, and they also have a chance to stun your guys, which you will see later on in the battle gameplay. Obviously, when you think about counter chance, even if you do get a jump start on these guys, if they do counter attack under Chirpa lead, they'll be gaining bonus turn meter whenever they use basics. So even though you will start off with more turn meter than them, if they start counter attacking, gaining bonus turn meter, they might actually revert that and get a jump start on you very quickly. Just so you know, in case you're wondering why suddenly Ewoks started taking million turns even though you had speed advantage to begin with. For the feats themselves, we have to apply thermal detonators at least 40 times, while attempt to apply, so if it gets resisted, this will still count for the feat. But to be honest, Jawas, they'll be stacking lots of thermal detonators, so you don't have to worry about this at all. Then, as mentioned before, we got Crush Them feat this time, and again I will be using my Darth Revan to do that. And yes, we do have to win with a full squad of Jawas. Now, speaking of Jawas, let me show you mine. I've got Chief Nabbit here in the leading slot, so mine's at gear 10, so not very tanky and durable, but I did put a full defense sets on him as well as all the protection primaries. Just try to make him as durable as possible. Also showing you his armor here, because he's a tank after all, and if he can stick around, you know, for a little while, there can be lots of thermal detonators stacked on the enemies. No leadership from Nabbit. It's pretty much useless, to be honest. But at least it's not like Dachas that only works versus droids. At least you're getting some sort of benefit from his lead, but not a whole lot. However, he does have ability where he can taunt, so obviously you want to pull that one if he survives long enough. Jawa Engineer, my highest gear Jawa here at gear 11. Pretty much geared him up a little bit and a bit for the way back when they were actually useful a little bit in the tank raid, as well as the tier 6 of the Sith raid. They could do some good damage there to begin with, so just one of those early teams I worked on just for the raids. Now you will want to put as much speed as you can on your Jawa Engineer so that he can go first in combination with his Crunch Time unique, where he's getting plus 10 speed for each Jawa ally. So essentially he's getting plus 50 speed in total in this full Jawa squad, and that in combination with my 298 speed was more than enough that he went first. And why I want him to go first, so he can use his recalibrate ability, which grants your Jawa allies 45% turn meter, and this will allow your Jawas to get a jump start on Ewoks. Also, good point to mention here, the basic from Jawa Engineer only applies thermal detonator, it doesn't deal any damage. So nobody's got death mark on the field and it's Jawa Engineer's turn. When he uses his basic, death mark will not get applied on him because he's not actually doing any damage to anybody whatsoever. Just something I thought to mention when you're going through the battle. My Dacha, gear 9, so this is where you will see drop off in gear levels on my Jawas. I modded Dacha for some speed as well as potency. And why potency, you ask? Because his AoE has 50% chance to apply ability block, so if we can get some ability block spread there on Ewoks, that will help us a lot. So they can't use their special abilities to begin with. So moving on to the next one, Jawa Scavenger. He's also a key hero character. I wish I would have him more than at gear 8, so he would be more survivable here, but again, trying to put some protection on him and things like that. But you do want to have some speed on him also. Just make sure that Jawa Scavenger is not your second fastest Jawa, because otherwise he'll go straight after Jawa Engineer. He will then deal damage and he will get death mark applied on him. So just make sure he is like maybe third or fourth fastest Jawa, so he doesn't get death mark applied on him. And why you want your Scavenger to stay alive as long as you can, it's because he's Line in the Sand unique, where there will be more stacking of thermal detonators on the enemy in combination with global modifier. This will really allow you to prevail, and you will see today's challenge, it will be a lot about trying again. And finally, the Jawa, Nameless Jawa himself, again modded him for speed and some potency. Again, why potency? Because his AoE, in case you haven't known, has a 25% chance to stun other enemies, and this will come in play as I will show in the gameplay. You will definitely want to land a stun on Wicked, because Wicked is the only one that's got AoE on the enemy side, okay? So there we go, we're going to unload AoE here from Jawa. If you don't understand Wicked, retreat, go back out, and then unload an AoE now with Dacha. Hopefully we can get some ability blocks here, perfect. Alright, there goes Jawa. Now here you will want your Jawa Scavenger to get into stealth. Unfortunately, he did get death mark on him, which is not ideal. Alright, I'm losing here people left and right. Alright, but they've got a lot of thermal detonators stacking, and because my Jawa Engineer is gear 11, he's able here to hang around. There you go, keep recovering protection. Alright, they're trying to do their best. Alright, so I'm only down to 3 Ewoks now. Well, just do a basic more thermal, there we go. So it's only 1v1 now with Jawa Engineer and Pablo, throwing thermal detonators as much as I can. I'm just hoping it will be enough to get him out. And there you go, he got death mark applied on himself because Jawa Engineer is not dealing any damage whatsoever on his basic. And there we go. Combination with thermal detonators and that death mark in the end, I was able to finish off Pablo here, which allowed me here on tier 10 to get all these feats done except Crush Them feat. Speaking of that feat, as mentioned, I'll be taking in more Darth Revan there with Thrawn. So I'll just bring this team up here, just show you the mods. I actually didn't have mods here on all the characters because as mentioned before, I had to a little bit remod my Jawas there. And I took strip mods from Revan and Bastila, but didn't really matter. They were, even at that slow speed, this still worked without any issues. What you will definitely want is that your Malak is the fastest character. So mine there was at 328. This allows him to go first, and he deals damage first, and then he gets death mark applied on himself. And as you probably are aware, Malak doesn't care about death mark. He literally gets no damage from it. And this actually then forces the Ewoks to keep attacking him even when he does not have a taunt because of death mark. Thrawn here, he's good for a little bit turn meter swap, some, give you extra little bit control on the field when you're lining up everybody for a big AoE. So there we go, Malak goes first, deals damage first because of global modifier, gets death mark applied on himself, everybody attack him, get feared. And this is we just want to then go ahead and train somebody, just going after Chirpa because he will get death mark from Darth lead applied on him anyways. There we go, let's spread fear now on everybody. We can just go ahead, just going after Chirpa now, get him out, spread more fear, more debuffs, unload an AoE here with HK, get Chirpa out, cannot be revived because of the death mark. As you can see, pretty much Malek's got permanent death mark on him because Ewoks are unable to take him out. So this really works in your favor because it acts as a taunt at the same time. And he's just shrugging off what he takes about, was it like 1k damage from each death mark hit, so pretty much nothing really. And here, once you're just down to these Ewoks here, try to land an ability block on Ewok Elder, so you know he doesn't dispel all these debuffs. And then just a case of lining up the 3 weaker Ewoks like Elder, Weakhead, and Logray to get them into red health, and then you can just unload the Wild Lightning with Pastilla, which will take care of them. So just go ahead there, drain Logray, another basic from HK, got him in the red, so we can just go ahead, leave him alone now. And here now with Throne, just going to fracture Paplu, make sure that he doesn't get here really involved in what I'm doing. So there we go, I got Elder in the yellow, I got Wicked into the red. Just put a basic here in Elder, trying to get him into the red as well. There we go, so got all the 3 weaker Ewoks now in red. And now all the hits, just basics there over into Paplu. Because obviously I don't want to take the other guys out until Bastila gets a turn. So there you go, Basti got a turn, target an enemy with shock on them, unleash Wild Lightning, boom, down they go. So just a case now of finish off Paplu and unlock the max rewards yet again. Again, probably for this feat you got probably many options what teams you can use. I just always find this Darth Revan team with Throne by far the easiest for me to get this free hit, just because all the fear and fracture, termeter swapping, you just have so much control on the field that you can very nicely line up 3 enemies into the red and then unleash Wild Lightning. Alright guys, hope you find this video useful and helpful, showing you how I unlocked max rewards for the first time with my Jawas. Hey! But anyway, let me know in the comments below or on my Discord server how you guys are getting on. But until then, have fun, enjoy life, and may the RNG be with you, my friends.